Hello there, folks. Yeah, it's a little bit of lead. Yep. I got to get a little bit of a Zeppelin here. I mean, come on. I don't know about you, but I remember when the first album came out, and yes, it was fabulous. It was one of those albums that really did change and define, I don't know, for myself, a new awareness of the music at hand. So, hey, I can see everything is spinning around and think think we're all right down where we all have to be. So, welcome everybody. Speaking favor over us all. You know, Thor's Day is actually Joy Day. So make sure that, hey, enjoy it. That's what I say. Basto to everybody. It works that way. It does. Be of service to others. They'll be of service to you. Happy birthday if you got one. We're prospering and abounding. Thank you very much, angels. Hey, the unseen realm, we're all going to be a part of it. We're already a part of it. But nevertheless, I digress. Tonight on artistfirst.com, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. here in the Mountain West. I always like saying that. The Steiger perspective. Check it out. Tonight's theme is how bad is it? Yes, I am, Joe. Absolutely. So welcome all the moderators. Good to see all of you. Much love. Y'all are looking fabulous. And all the rest of you, I mean, you know, if you're in the chat, you're part of the soul tribe anyway. I wrote this down today because this is what I woke up with on my spirit. Knowledge seekers are the best spirits to be around. Those who seek knowledge are those who carry the lamp of life within. Boom, baby. All right, that's the show. See y'all later. Have yourselves a great day. So good to see everybody. Hey, Dragon Soul Fox, what's up, girl? Guy and Paul, much love. Deborah Sloan, how are you? Kelly, John Price, Big Al is in the room, and I am sure that Perry is there somewhere close. Grandpa Brian, what's up, brother? Good to see Melinda. Lost in Space, what's up? Hey, Larry. Robert V is in the house. Everybody, I think I saw Martin and Heidi there. Shannon, what's up, girl? And there's Julianne. Seek is seeking. See? Joe Sabian, how you doing? Alien Believer, good to see you. Eye of the Maelstrom. Gracie, what's up, girl? Hey, Loretta. Sweet Loretta thought she was a woman when she was another man. Got music on my mind, man. What can I say? Hey, Jules, much love to you, dear. Mr. Floyd, hello. Yeah, you know, here we try to keep things pretty upbeat. You know, hey, Delina, good to see ya. What's up? Hey, Chris, hello. Good to see you all. So, hey, Doris, what's happening? Isn't that the truth, Joe? Hey, exactly. Hey, Chris, good to see you, hon. All right. Say, Nina, what's happening? Doug, man, we just got a full crowd. Thank you for hitting the like button. You know, feed them the algorithm. That's what I say. Love you, knowledge seekers. This is what really I think that this group, it's why there's such a strong cohesiveness. There is a blending. Yeah, we're all in the same path, you know. And the thing about a path is not defined by merely the direction. I mean, a path has width to it, has height, has depth. And you can be on the same path, but yet have a completely different perspective. From you are a badass, the sooner you change your life for the better, the longer you get to live with those awesome changes, baby. We're talking. Hey, Suzanne, good to see you, dear. Darlene, sending you much love, hon. I had you on my thoughts the other day. Hey, Julie, good to see you. And Jimmy, what's up? Stop screwing around and just do it already. Yeah. Take what you want and leave the rest. But just make damn sure you leave some steak, because apparently in Ohio at the buffet, I think it was the Golden Corral, them people wanted them steaks. And they threw a riot. Damn it, where's the steaks? All right, got so much going on. Let's see. So this angel came up. I know we've talked to this angel before. Hazael, H-A-Z, I-E-L, for those of you who have got the deck. By the way, Big Al, I'm loving those designs. I want to get those t-shirts. The last couple that you've shown me. Yes. Deus Mercius, the merciful God, patron of people with a peaceful attitude, people closely connected, friends, lovers, admirers, people thinking positively. Hey, Esley, what's happening? Good to see you. Well, hey, Marie, got to tell you, this group, this is the angel. I mean, for this group here, fosters our relationship with powerful people, which will help us through our life. So, quick question to the group. Think about your life. How many people have you met or crossed paths who were considered to be celebrities, leaders in government or something? How many? Think about that. And the interesting thing is, you crossed their paths for a reason. They may have not realized it, but it was you were the ones that they should have paid attention to. How's that? I love that. Y'all just missed it, man. The phone was busy. That's all I got to say. Teaches how to be free of judgment of others, focus on the actions and not the actions of others. Yeah. You know, most of us, you know, it's quite fascinating what we find within ourselves. Someone sent me an interesting comment on the fact that we talk to ourselves. Each one of us do. It's how we are. You're going to be talking to yourself in the moment of transition, and how we really are masters of telepathy. Now, I guess you could get into more of, well, this, who are we talking to? You're talking to you. You know, you beautiful spirit being, you, that's what I'm saying, helps to remember the inner purity, the innocence, shows how to get rid of negative thoughts. Well, the thing about negative thoughts is consume them, eat them, transmute them. You mean, you know, you think about us, these energy beings that we are, we have the most, we're like capacitors, we're resistors, we're transformers. We have all of those characteristics of electricity. And so when someone's sending you, back in my post-production days when I worked in marketing and in marketing and sales in post-production, I worked around the things that people call reality. Post-production is where you do all the editing. And we had one of the top editing facilities in the country. But here's the interesting thing. When you build a post-production facility, you have to have make accommodations for all the equipment. Back in that day, before there were actual digital tape recorders, we still used, hell, I remember 1-inch tape. And then, you know, you got the 3/4 inch, and then you got down to beta 1/2 inch. But anyway, the point is 1-inch tape is what we use primarily. When you pull the power supply, because I built one, into your building, there is this thing called dirty power. Most of the power on the grid is dirty power. And you have to put the incoming electricity through these reducers. And at the same time, it cleans the energy. It makes it level. Spikes are bad. Very, very, very bad. Very bad. So, yeah. This message is meant for somebody out there. So you have the capacity to literally, if there's negative energy, you can either rebuff it or you can rearrange it, feed off of it, transmute it into, clean it up. Ah, life, isn't it fantastic? I got to tell you what. Yeah, like everybody really wanted to hear that. Well, yeah, because it's the bus driver, you know. I'm talking to the crowd behind me, and they're a noisy bunch, man. What else have we got? Symbol of peace, the unconditional love, forgiveness, and reconciliation. Oh, wow. Arbitration, usefulness, and impartiality to others. Cool. Gotta love the angels. Got to love the angels. Hey, Nina, what's up? Yep, 11:11. There we go. Hey, Go-Go, good to see you. So, all right. Hey, Tanya, good to see you. So, Darlene, how you been? Are you is school back yet? I'm not sure if it is. 1-1-1-1. Lee says it's 12-12-12. Yeah, it's true. Hey, Mary wins. When Mary wins, we all win. That's just the way it is. There's just some things in the natural order that just cannot be rearranged or in any way impeded upon. So, hey, there's the groovy grape. How you doing, Grandma? Good to see you. So, well, Darlene, you're still, as I remember you back, what was that, 15? Well, actually, we go back further than that. Beverly Hills Junior High, if I am correct. That would put us, yeah. Yes. Darlene, that's just that, as the song Billy Joel goes, when we wore a younger man's clothes, right? So to speak. So good to have you here, though, and it really is. So, yep, 7th grade. Yep. Mm-hmm. In band, too, wasn't it? I believe it was. All the stories we could tell. All right, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. You know, what can I say? Give me 1 second here. There we go. It's life, folks. It's the memories. Remember what Trina was talking about when she's with Randy's father, and Trina met his father there at his funeral. And it still sets in with me. He was amazed at the consciousness that he created. This consciousness that is interconnected with the other consciousnesses that we interact with. I mean, how freaking cool is that? I mean, really. Yeah, gotta love it. Okay, moving right on along, as they would say. Played the clarinet. Yeah, Darlene and Nick. Yep. Life, folks, you gotta love it. You're here, so why not? So let's get back into some this book that we were telling, the story of our lives. That's what it is. So we left off in here narrating the early religions of how they have just impacted all of us. I mean, even if you're not religious, and that's a good thing, but if you are, hey, that's a good thing. You can be spiritual and not be religious. You can be religious and not be spiritual. Yeah. Anyway, so the whole idea, the concept that there's going to be some dude on a white horse coming down out of the clouds, swooping in, here he comes to save the day. And, that's the hope of mankind. But the problem is there's been 1,000 generations that have lived and died thinking the same thing. So where do we get the stories? Hercules was a great traveler. He was known in many lands and everywhere as, get this, was invoked as a savior. The gap between universal, omnipresent, all-knowing deity and the helpless human was bridged by the concept of the God-man. The hell you say? I do say. Roman, spirit of spirit, if it will be your will, give me over to immortal birth so that I may be born again, and the sacred spirit may breathe in me. This is the prayer of Mithras. It seems I've read this somewhere else, and it was no prayer to Mithras, I can tell you that. I wonder if there was a little plagiarism going on. Borrowing, because listen, if you wrote something 2,000 years ago and you realize that there is a great possibility that this will be seen 2,000 years from now, then you could lift material off of someone else and no one's going to be the wiser. Here we go again. In the oath-bound secrecy of mystery religions, planets have dominion over life. Candidates who passed the Mithronic initiation were called lions and marked an Egyptian cross on their forehead, the Ankh. Mithras' sacrifice was for man. His death, that man might have eternal life, and resurrection ensured salvation. These think I've heard this before. Judaism. Believe me and understand that I am he. Before me, before he, before she, before we, before thee, it was me. No God was formed, and after me, none will come. Boy, is that a lot of ego or what? I mean, this is like the Banny roosters, Darlene, we had there in Genoa. You had those little Banny roosters. Have y'all know what I'm talking about? They're small little birds, but you look at a male rooster and he thinks that he's actually 10 feet tall. Yes, I am the Lord, and there is no savior but me. Isaiah 43. In Christianity, they took that and said, but now has been revealed by the appearing of our Savior, Christ Jesus, who abolished death and brought life and immortality to light through the gospel. Well, it's easy to write the gospel if you already have a text that's existed for over 2,000 years prior. I mean, there's no originality in that. It's like watching a cheap knockoff of, well, I don't know, the Avengers. Trying to put something modern context. So the Indian religion, 3,000 years BC, the dancing Shiva. The myth emerges from the uncritical verbalization of hopes and fears. Again, all the academic references are under each one of these quotes. Ancients weaved together humanity's mystical imaging about the origins of the cosmos, magical stories of creative gods and spirits and of people guided by the stars and inspired by angels. It's still the weirdest thing. I mean, you think about it. We don't have a freaking clue where we came from. How pathetic is that? No. Today, social anthropologists might be amazed at how myths and rituals got around the world so easily without Facebook. More myths similar to the Jesus story. Here's the Jesus story way before the Jesus story was the story of Jesus. Krishna, the Indian god, also was born of a virgin and in a cave. His birth announced by a star. The king sought to destroy him, and for that purpose, a massacre of infants was ordered. Everywhere he performed miracles, raising the dead, healing lepers and the deaf and the blind, and championing the poor and oppressed. He had a beloved disciple, Arjuna, actually translates John, before whom he was transfigured. Wow. Now see, that word transfigured, that's an old word that it's not much used today, but that's what happens. How interesting. His death is definitely related as being shot by an arrow or crucified on a tree. He descended into hell and rose again from the dead, ascending into heaven in the sight of many people. He will return at the last day to be the judge of the quick and the dead. Where have we read this before? You know what this feels like? It's like being in a revolving door. When I was doing a lot of work in Manhattan, how many of the buildings, now they have the doors that open, but you still find enough of them to have the revolving doors. And it's always that thought, as I can remember, always getting in, because you always have that feeling of confinement. And it's like you can see the exit, but if you get caught up into that cycle, you'll be seeing the exit 100 times. You're still caught up. Yeah. But remember, I'm a heretic here. Anyway, the reference on that one is pagan and Christian creeds. Check it out. People don't realize that 3,000 years ago, all people were considered half good, half evil, and could go either way, totally powerless to the spirits. Worse was there was no redemption from this rather odd view until thousands of years later with the legalization of Christianity in the mid-4th century CE. Ancients had no concept of an interior life or self-consciousness. Their impulses happened at the bidding of other spiritual beings, ghosts, as we read in the Reptilian agenda, and we're going to be switching over there to continue on that one. That one's I love that book. Boy, that has got some serious mind coitus to it, that lived independent of them. There's those angels and ghosts now. And it's so interesting with and this is what's so strange, been doing a little research. So the ghost hunting industry, it's a new industry, still growing, but now it's on the radar of Wall Street. It's right now a small, very small demographic market, already into the billions. But now it seems big tech is about to go all ghost hunting. And I'm talking the big tech. They're really, and it's interesting, in doing this research, I was on another project, but yeah, it's got true merit behind it. And now you've got the big cats. I mean, they're facing their mortality. They're facing their own deaths. They all know it. They're desperate to find a way around it. And now, through channels and programs way back in the day with Jason Hawks and, Ghost Hunters, now there's a plethora of these shows, and there's more going to be produced. And I've actually seen a couple of startups that are in that business. And it's quite interesting because there's a number of revenue models that you can do from it. But yeah, my things are changing around here. All right, a sociologist's view into early religions. Primitive people assumed that all things are dualistic and everything possesses an inner phantom. These people lack a proper awareness of their own mental functioning. It's like, what the hell are you thinking? All of us still we are endless in our unlimited potentiality. This is just one aspect of it. Oh, folks, it never ends. Spencer called this a ghost theory, and as you will read, most people believed this notion up to the Renaissance era. Again, a lot had changed in this whole Renaissance area. John Dee, Bacon, Shakespeare, King James Bible. It gets really weird. So this is the ancient devil. This is the Assyrian, the Babylonian demon called Pazuzu, the first millennium. That's a badass dude. I mean, I kind of look at it too. I mean, these people had to have had something in order beyond their imagination. I contend they actually drew exactly what they saw. To the ancient, demons were held responsible for every form of evil afflicting man. It's from the Concise History of the Catholic Church. Ancients weave together humanity's mystical imagings about the origins of the cosmos, mystical stories of creative gods, spirits, and people guided by stars and inspired by angel. Here's a Assyrian ancient poem, 700 BC. I give a lot of merit to these. I mean, because the culture back, they didn't have television. They didn't have anything really to distract them. I contend people of the pre-modern era were more focused. They were highly more intelligent. They had a stronger connection with spirit, with earth. Anyway, demons, like raging bulls of giant strength and giant tread, ghosts that break through all houses. Ghost. So this is not a new term, and if you take the G away, it really becomes host. So is it that what we're recording we call ghost is merely a host looking for a host body or a host soul, mind? Demons that have no shame, knowing no mercy, they rage against mankind. They spill their blood like rain, devouring their flesh and sucking their veins. Found an interesting quote that there is an estimated 20,000 actual vampires living in the United States. And in the layers of the feeding grounds of the homeless encampments primarily, there are large layers of vampires. Some estimate that there could be as many in the United States alone, over 500,000 real life vampires. Today, many people still have a vague Christian concept of the devil, where he is like a general yelling out commands to his PFCs. In fact, about 60% of Americans believe in the personal devil. But this is a rather late concept in the world of religions. The early devil wasn't as sinister, was much less powerful, or was considered more of a bad angel, but who somehow went rogue. Primitive man did not begin with concepts of cause beyond the visible phenomenon. He did not postulate a devil that made the darkness. Darkness from the depth was the devil. The darkness brought forth its brood of baleful beings, inimical to him. Ma, the first real badass, Lord of the Underground, or at least according to King Gog, The spirits controlled nature. They brought light in darkness, sunshine in storm, summer and winter. They were manifested in the thunderstorm, the sandstorm, the glare of sunset. They controlled the lives of men and women. The good spirits were the source of luck. The bad spirits caused misfortunes and were ever seeking to work evil against the Babylonians. Darkness was people by demons. Darkness was propelled by demons and ghosts of the dead. The spirits of disease were ever lying in wait to clutch him with cruel, invisible hands. And that is another phenomenon of people who go on these paranormal adventures are now, claw marks being scratched. Some of the more serious ones are what's happening primarily to women, in which we would call spiritual rapes. The only problem is the women are showing bruising of an actual physical event. This is becoming much more widespread. There was a movie that was made called, I believe it was The Entity, true story of a woman in Los Angeles who actually, it was one of the only few cases that the University of Los Angeles actually took on. But yeah, and she was the first one that actually documented physically being raped by a spirit, an unseen force. So pretty strange stuff, you have to admit. By the way, this book was from Myths and Legends of Babylon and Assyria, Mackenzie. Some say that the people of Macedonia were more superstitious than Egypt, because that's the question you have to come back to. If this is part of our nature, if this was really part of our ancestral DNA, that our ancestors, as intelligent as they were, seem to have this foundation, this core belief that the unseen realm was more real than the physical realm. Wow. Magic formulas for driving out demons constitute the largest category, the clay tablets found in the library of, and I believe this is the Library of Constantinople, I believe. The civilizations of Mesopotamia and Syria helped shape the Western concept of the devil more than Egypt. These dark deities are gods of destruction, plagues, war, and death. It had enormous influence on Hebrews and Christian ideas. Yeah, it did. When the Draconian cult was superseded by the Assyrian in Egypt, the ancient mother and her son, the seven, were cast out and reclothed in the original imagery of evil as the viper Sut and the dragon Typhoon. There was war in the heaven. The myth of the cast out dragon is common to Egypt, Britain, and Babylon. This might seem odd to us, but to the superstitious ancients, why the sun set and went to darkness was blamed on an evil god called the serpent fiend. In darkness, their demons lurked about. Guess you can really understand it. Just put yourself back 5,000 years ago. You didn't have your house, didn't have the natural gas, the air conditioning, the electricity, didn't have your car. And if you had a dwelling, it most likely was a cave or something you constructed. And even with that, you really couldn't keep out the critters, particularly the nasty ones, the vipers. And being out in darkness was foolish to begin with. That's why we formed clans, tribes. So yeah, the darkness would be filled with all sorts of boogeymen. Celestial bents would be perceived as spiritual. Not to say that they weren't. Darkness typified the struggle of the deceased with his enemies in the underworld. But here's something that I'd like to interject. So if you think about it, there's a perpetual sunrise and a perpetual sunset always taking place. Just for that point of view, there's always a perpetual noon. But they didn't know that back then, or did they? Around 1000 BC, when religion got going stronger, the snake was personified as the devil or Satan. The devil, the god Nu, the abyss, or the Atar, Lucifer, who wasn't evil at the time, came from Egypt. I have said all along, they got a bad rap, man. I mean, to the victor goes the spoils of history, right? For they are the ones who write history. The Sumerian legend of creation, in opposition to all that was good in ancient Egypt, the most preeminent of all the demons, the evil gods, or evil powers was Apophis, the serpent of darkness, who was represented by a snake. And I'll tell you who I love, who took Apophis's character, SG-1. Exactly. Many of you who may have watched the series, which I thought Richard Anderson played just the perfect, O'Neill. I mean, Colonel O'Neill. How many of us don't? And the Gaeold were really the demons. Why? Because they would put, particularly if, the snake got in you, well, you weren't you anymore. And Apophis, we found that they lifted his story from ancient Egypt, that he was merely an alien, as many of the first pharaohs were. They came here. They were seeders. Seeders meaning literally sperm, taking the seed. But no, that was make-believe. Well, I got to tell you, the writers had more insight to things that, particularly Egyptian. And I really liked the movie too. The movie Stargate was great. Anyway, it's real, folks. Primitive life was beset with 1,000 dangers and seldom ended in natural decay. Means if you were born, you were most likely going to get eaten or killed. Long before old age would come, violence or some strange disease carried off the great majority of people. Thus, each person didn't believe death was ever natural. He attributed it to the operation of supernatural agency. And this is what I wrote here, and I keep on, it's because it's a theme. Who committed us to death? What was the crime, and exactly what gave them the right? No one's answered that one yet. I've seen a lot of ideas and thoughts. 2, their imagination of the world teemed with motley beings, fairies, goblins, ghosts, and demons hovered about him, both waking and sleeping. Their dog, his footsteps dazzled his senses, entered into him, harassed, deceived, and tormented him in 1,000 freakish ways. The mishap that befalled him, the losses he sustained, the pains that he had to endure wearies him. They say that there's a difference between those who grow old and those that become old. Many have, they just lose the energy. Their energy is just drained. And subsequently, when the spiritual energy, what I would call spirit, is drained, well, you're not bound for here much longer. But then again, you could be like, take like Dick Van Dyke. I mean, the guy is amazing. Just recently saw him doing an interview. I think he's 93, 94, something like that. Going strong. And he said, because he's seen so much, I mean, he saw Hollywood in a time. And he said in this interview, the guy asked him, he says, so why are you so young, is what the interviewer said. And Richard said, he says, because I am young. He said, I don't see myself as old. He said, I know this body, but he said, I am not old. So anyway, there you go. Primitive man had a genuine dread of spirits, and his chief concern was to procreate them, no matter how great might be the personal sacrifice involved. Evil spirits prowled incessantly around the dead bodies of the Chaldeans, either to feed upon them or use them in sorcery. Necromancy. Weird. That's all I gotta say. So Khonshu, to the ancients, a sacrifice was somehow the only way to please the gods, water the crops, and get rid of the pesky devil from the area. While 1,000 years later, Christianity carried this same idea with Jesus as a sacrifice for pagans, since at that time the known world was primarily Mediterranean. People made a sacrifice to Khonshu, the moon deity, the expeller of demons. The Labbarutu was a demon which attacked women and children. Moon demons inhabited the dark side of the moon. That's where they got the album from. I'm just telling you right now. It was those damn moon demons. Hey, Pink Floyd. While east in Persia, Iran, hideous monsters typified the devil. Surprisingly, this style of writing was similar to the later book of Revelation, roughly 600 years later. This proves that Revelation can be pagan in scope as well. Well, if we back up on that one, that just tears the whole story up then, Wayne. We don't want to hear that. No. Okay. So I want to break off here because this continues on at this one. We're going to pick up on this. It just shows that there's no need really to be scared of the dark other than yourself. And if there is an unseen being in there, then challenge it. Don't run from it. That's crazy. You know, they're a spirit, just like you. Tell it, if it doesn't do what you say, then get the hell out. You're going to kick its ass. Damn it. I love it. Okay, so let me just stop that. And I love this book. You got to admit, it is just the coolest as he tries to pull up the other book. There we go. I want to get back in this one a little bit. A lot of people were quite taken aback with this book and sent it out. I think everybody got it. But the Reptilian Disclosure Project. This is, again, one of the most interesting books. How they've positioned this, how they break down the 9 ethers. How does that look? How does the 6 ether look? What the first race was, how the gods were brought forth, how that was brought into. We found out that we are made of the amber light, that there is the green pure light, that each one of the noble gases are in their ethereal form, actual life forms. I mean, someone wrote me and said that reading this book, the little bit that we got into, because it gets into all the way that life exists. There are life forms that are living in the light spectrum. We don't understand how it's into the nanometers, that this impacts what we all are here, and how that no matter what you perceive a creator, the all, God, however you define that, in the end, what we found out from yesterday is that it's all the same. No matter what the name is, it's all the same. The same purpose, same reason. Basically, we are not mature enough in the eyes of these other beings that we need a caretaker, an overlord. So, where I left off, so let's pick up. Just bear with me. All right, we picked up here. It said, it was here that life and all kinds and spiritual beings live and thrive. There's this whole Etherians. That's what they're called. They have a complete structure, a hierarchy, very powerful beings. It's where we come from, apparently. Those extraterrestrials, the sky dwellers, who came to this planet Earth, be they extraterrestrials, these were the Anunnaki, the Natiru, the Alamam, the angelic beings, or the arrival of, or the terrestrial beings, which we are, that is of this planet Earth. We're terrestrials, the land dwellers, even those beings who came on land from the deep sea. Well, this kind of confirms what the Sumerians taught, what the, Mesopotamians taught, that there is actually a race of humanids that look just like we do. Who knows? We may be some of them that came from the ocean. And these species, all of which were agreeable people and disagreeable people. Don't be a disagreeable person, right? Who did tread to and fro on the earth's surfaces, the ground, and swam in the seas, and flew in the skies of this planet. Wow. I now called Earth from the word Urudu, excuse me. That's just kind of, think about it. They were flying. Did they have airplanes? What type of craft? Did they even need a craft? I always couldn't figure out why they have Superman or people that fly, right? Why they're always in a prostrate position. I mean, we really think that that's going to have an impact on aerodynamics? I don't know. Seems like you could sit like this just as well. But I guess it's more sexy to have your hand out there with the cape, right? Anyway, but by this disorder of these disagreeable species was destruction caused by meteorites, which are large pieces of debris that enter the atmosphere and reaches the ground, and that cause the light of the sun to be blocked by the dust clouds. Had to be a hell of a lot of meteorites. Meteorites are chips off asteroids that can be of rock or metal. Now, when this was written, I don't believe the science was there at that point where they could have actually known the difference. Anyway, the daylight had gone where pure light once was, and no light reigned. Void was upon the surface of the deep, ordering his spirit beings to hover above the surface of the deep, while the Great Spirit prepared for the reconstruction of this now desolate place. So this is a catastrophe. This is a Ellie event, a Earth life eliminating event. Gobi Tepe? Could be. It talked of one. Of course, Genesis 2, 4 talks of one. It was to be a great replenishing. Now, where did we hear that word before? Yet not without fault, for life does dwell beneath the deep. The greatest variety of organisms live beneath the deep seas of this planet Tiamat. That's what Earth is, or was, or we once were. Yeah. The sea waters make up 85% of all the water on the Earth. Under this vast watery surface are the taller peaks and the deepest valleys on this planet. Seawater is really pure water in which compounds have dissolved. Salts account for most of these dissolved substances, and the total amount of salts dissolved in seawater is known as salinity, from the Latin word, as he goes back up here, salinus, from sol, meaning salt. The rejuvenation of another chance was in the heart and the mind of the most Holy Spirit. So one was selected from amongst the many to be the guardian over these beings, to be born, to be El Rahum Mol, the merciful, and El Ranum, the yielder. El Hakam, he who is the wise one. El Gudash, he who is the holy. El Latuf, he who is the kind, and he who is the established of peace. He who is he who is the peace. El Salam, the loving El Ashag, the one and only sustainer of this solar system, soon to become a tri-solar system. In preparation for the elders' arrival, the other suns are already on their way. One such brighter light or star about 25,000 light years from Earth has been seen in the direction of the Sagittarius constellation, being named the Pistol Star, which cannot be seen with the naked eye because the dust clouds which absorb the visible light of stars. This sun is 10 million times as bright as the sun already existing in this solar system. And when my soul has spoken unto me and has confirmed in my heart and mind, glory be to the Al-Shabar, the patient Skala. Glory be to the kind, the El Latuf. Glory be to Anu, he who is the giver, El Nafun. Glory be to the endower, the El Wahu. Glory be to he who is the bestower, the El Manu. Glory be he who is the healer, the El Shafu. Glory be to the first, the El-Wa. Glory be to the honored, the Al-Ma'uz. Well, holy crap. So we can't just, this is interesting. I'd be curious if anyone in the chat room or anyone listening this on replay, this is the first time I've actually heard of what our solar system is eventually going to become a tri-solar system. Wow. Well, we know the Andromeda galaxy is heading for a collision. Could this be what it's talking about? And we know that the star, where it's at, this will be curious. Now that I have it on my radar, the Pistol star in the Sagittarius constellation. Okay, well, kids, that was fun. Holy crap. I mean, what is this about? Wow. Why not? Is not three like the triad, the trinity, the perfectness, the completeness? I mean, wow. What if our solar system was actually trillions upon trillions of years old? I think Blazing River it was. That's what they're saying. They're saying that there have been beings on Tiamat, which Earth is now, because of the first collision. I guess it was the first. I don't know. They say that the sun that is our sun now was not our sun, that it came in, or we got captured into this pool, this gravity pool, this gravity well. Wow. Julianne, that's a big number. What is that? Got 3 with what, 25 zeros behind it? I don't know. It looks pretty large to me. Yeah, Scotty boy, what I'm saying, and I know I can't believe this, they lied to us. Them rotten sons of bitches. I mean, what a bunch of assholes. Couldn't they have just told us the truth? It's weird. Talking with the Planets, again, with Patrick Garrett back in the day. Patrick, love you, brother. That was revolutionary stuff. Hello from Portugal. Hey, Pedro, how are you doing, my friend? Just email me and I'll send you the PDFs. Much favor to you. Thank you. Trust all is well in your country. Go figure. Isn't that the truth, Nina? I mean, go figure. Yeah, this is interesting. And I mean, if you're a beings that you're not, time really isn't an essence. You see the movements of this universe. You know, you could see it almost in real time and how it's yeah. Christopher Garcia, check out Residence 2010's website for the deepest spiritual knowledge anywhere. Okay. It also where you can get the book 7 Bomar Speaks Deep Truths. A lot of people speaking deep truths, Christopher. Thanks for letting others see that. But here's my philosophy. I don't trust anyone who tells me that they're speaking the only truth. Now, it may be their only truth, that I can respect, but don't be telling me it's the only truth, because, I've been around just long enough to tell you I have seen so many truths that none were truth at all. But hey, that's why we love where we are at. We learn and we go, hello, genetically modified. Good to see you. All right, folks. See you tonight on the Steiger Perspective, artistverse.com, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. right here in the Mountain West, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in. You'll enjoy it. It's where we get into more of the uncensored. Have fun with that. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll get into some musings. I mean, Big Al says, thanks, Wayne, for much confusion today. Why not? I mean, if it was not, it would just become plain, you know? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So true, Jeanette, so true. All right, folks, much love to you. This has been fun. A tri-solar system, implying that we would be in this quadrant of space, 3 different stars with 3 different sets of planets. Holy crap, Batman. Hey, Lost in Space, good to see you. Much love to y'all. All right, everyone. Woo. All right, see you tonight. Thank you, Martin and Heidi, all the rest of you. Much love. All right. That's all right, Blazing River. We have to color within the lines here. The Steiger perspective, we got the whole freaking, palette. We got the whole canvas. All right. Much love, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.